A young black boy, Darius Walker, was once denied access to his local church due to the color of his skin, but he transformed his pain into power, rising above adversity to become the richest man in the world. His journey is a compelling testament to resilience and the relentless pursuit of dreams, proving that society's limitations can be shattered. This is Darius's story, a story of hope, ambition, and profound change. Before we dive into this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring tales that ignite the spirit. Let us know in the comments if you have a story that deserves to be told. Darius Walker's early years were shaped by a life of modest means, but also by a strong sense of pride and love within his family. Growing up in a neighborhood where poverty seemed as inescapable as the smog hanging over the streets, he learned the value of hard work from his father, Gerald Walker, a man whose hands were calloused from long hours at the steel factory. His mother, Lila, was a warm-hearted woman, always making sure Darius knew that, despite the prejudice they faced, they were worthy of every opportunity the world had to offer. But Darius's childhood wasn't just defined by the care and determination of his parents. It was also marked by the harsh reality of racial discrimination, which shadowed their lives like a specter. Gerald Walker, despite his undeniable skill and loyalty to his job, was passed over for promotions time and again. Darius often overheard his father's frustrations late at night, long after he thought his son was asleep. "It doesn't matter how good I am," his father would say. "To them, I'll always just be another black man, just another name on the payroll." However, no incident left a more profound scar on Darius's heart than the one at their local church, a place that was supposed to symbolize unity and acceptance. One Sunday morning, when Darius was just 8 years old, his family decided to attend a church service they had never been to before. His mother had heard about a new pastor, one who was said to be a beacon of hope and change, especially for families like theirs. Dressed in their best clothes, the Walkers approached the church with a sense of optimism. Darius held his mother's hand tightly, feeling the excitement and nervousness of stepping into a new environment. His father, walking a few steps ahead, had a hopeful gleam in his eye as he carried their family's worn-out Bible. Perhaps, just perhaps, they would finally find a place where they belong. As they reached the church doors, a group of people stood outside, chatting amicably. One of the elders, a tall, silver-haired man with a neatly pressed suit, noticed the Walkers approaching. His smile faltered as he exchanged looks with a few others standing near him. As Gerald reached for the door, the man stepped forward, blocking their path. "Can I help you?" the elder asked, his voice polite, but with an unmistakable edge to it. "We're here for the service," Gerald replied, holding up the Bible as if it were an offering of peace. The elder's eyes scanned the family from head to toe, lingering on their dark skin. His lips pressed into a thin line. "I'm afraid this church isn't open to everyone," he said, his voice now cold and sharp. Lila, sensing the tension, tightened her grip on Darius's hand. "We heard the new pastor was welcoming," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. The elder glanced at the others behind him, and a few of them nodded, as if they all silently agreed on the decision that was being made. "You heard wrong," the elder said finally. "This church has certain traditions. It's best you find somewhere else." The words hung in the air like a slap to the face. Darius felt his chest tighten as he looked up at his father, whose expression had turned to one of quiet anger and disappointment. Gerald's hands clenched around the Bible, his knuckles white, but he said nothing. Lila, too, remained silent, though Darius could see the tears welling up in her eyes. Without another word, Gerald turned, leading his family away from the church. The murmurs of the people behind them grew louder, but the Walkers kept walking, heads held high even as their hearts sank. That moment changed something in Darius. It was the first time he truly understood what it meant to be judged not by his character, but by the color of his skin. The look on his father's face, the silent rage, the feeling of helplessness, burned into his memory. From that day forward, Darius vowed that he would never allow himself or his family to be treated like that again. He would rise above, no matter what obstacles stood in his way. As he grew older, this vow turned into a burning desire to prove to the world and to himself that he was more than the limitations society placed on him. He wanted to create something, to build something that could change lives and make a difference. And though he didn't know it then, this experience would fuel his determination in ways he couldn't yet imagine. Darius's teenage years were filled with quiet rebellion and the constant pressure of navigating a world that seemed determined to push him down. Despite excelling in school, where his natural intelligence shone in subjects like mathematics and science, he felt the sting of racial prejudice even in the classroom. Teachers, though impressed by his academic abilities, often downplayed his achievements, attributing them to luck or fleeting talent. But there was one place where Darius found solace: technology. From a young age, he had been fascinated by how things worked, from the family's old radio to the barely functioning computer at his local library. He would spend hours tinkering, taking things apart, just to understand how they were put together. By the time he entered high school, Darius had already taught himself basic coding and began experimenting with software. It was during this time that he realized the vast potential of the tech world, not just as a field of innovation, but as a way to level the playing field. In technology, he saw a world where skill and creativity mattered more than skin color. It was a world he could shape, a world where he could be seen for his brilliance, not his race. One fateful afternoon, Darius attended a tech fair in a neighboring city, far from the confines of his small town. The event was a revelation. For the first time, he was surrounded by people who shared his passion, who saw the world not through the lens of prejudice, but through the possibilities of innovation. It was here that he met Isabella Cruz, a tech entrepreneur who would change his life forever. Isabella, a seasoned expert with a reputation for identifying talent, noticed the young man wandering around the booths, his eyes wide with curiosity. Something about his quiet intensity caught her attention, and she approached him. "You look like you belong here," she said, offering a warm smile. Darius, surprised by her openness, explained his fascination with the tech world, detailing the small projects he'd been working on in his spare time. Isabella listened intently, nodding as he spoke. "You've got potential," she said finally, "but potential means nothing if you don't act on it. If you're serious about this, I can help." That conversation marked the beginning of a pivotal chapter in Darius's life. With Isabella's mentorship, he began to refine his ideas and expand his knowledge of the tech industry. She helped him secure an internship at a rising tech startup where Darius learned the ins and outs of running a business, from software development to pitching ideas to investors. With Isabella's guidance, Darius immersed himself in the world of tech. He worked tirelessly, often staying late at the startup, absorbing everything he could. His hunger for knowledge and determination to prove himself set him apart from his peers. After a year of hard work and dedication, Darius had developed a prototype for a groundbreaking app designed to connect underserved communities with resources such as job opportunities and educational programs. With Isabella's encouragement, Darius decided to take a leap of faith and launch his own company, Phoenix Innovations. He chose the name as a nod to his journey of rising from the ashes of adversity and discrimination. He wanted his company to symbolize resilience and empowerment, especially for those who faced barriers similar to his own. The launch of Phoenix Innovations came with excitement, but also trepidation. Darius had learned the ropes of the tech industry, but now he had to navigate the treacherous waters of being a CEO. He put together a small team, handpicking individuals who shared his vision of inclusivity and innovation. Among them was Malik, a talented coder from a similar background, who quickly became one of Darius's closest allies. However, as the company began to gain traction, the challenges soon became apparent. The tech world was fiercely competitive, and despite Darius's passion, his young company struggled to secure funding. Investors were often skeptical, questioning whether a young African-American man could lead a tech company. Darius experienced the subtle but pervasive racial bias that lingered in boardrooms. During one particularly disheartening meeting with a major venture capital firm, an investor's words stung. "You have a good idea, but can you really deliver? Tech is a tough industry, and we're not sure you have what it takes." Darius felt the familiar pang of frustration, but channeled that energy into refining his pitch. He spent sleepless nights rehearsing, gathering data, and perfecting his presentation, determined to prove that he was not just another statistic, but a force to be reckoned with. After several failed pitches, Darius finally caught a break. He secured a meeting with a more inclusive venture capital firm that valued diversity and innovation. This time, he walked into the room with newfound confidence. He presented not just his app, but the mission behind Phoenix Innovations, empowering underrepresented communities through technology. The investors were impressed. They recognized the potential for social impact as well as profitability. With their backing, Darius secured the funding he needed to launch his first product, an app called Bridge, designed to connect people in underserved neighborhoods with resources like job openings, health services, and educational opportunities. The launch was met with enthusiasm, and Bridge quickly gained traction in the market. Within months, Darius received accolades for his innovative approach. The app was featured in major tech publications, and investors started to take notice. Darius's hard work had finally paid off, and Phoenix Innovations was on its way to becoming a recognized name in the tech world. Just as Darius thought things were looking up, disaster struck. He began to notice discrepancies in the company's finances and internal communications. It started with small things: project files going missing, suspicious behavior from one of his employees, Rachel, who had been a promising hire and a trusted member of the team. Feeling uneasy, Darius decided to investigate. He discovered that Rachel had been leaking sensitive information about Phoenix Innovations to a rival tech company, one that had been closely monitoring their progress. The betrayal was like a punch to the gut. Darius felt the weight of trust crushed under the betrayal of someone he had once considered an ally. Despite the heartbreak, Darius knew he couldn't let Rachel's actions define his company's future. He devised a plan to turn the tables. With Malik's help, he created a decoy project, feeding Rachel false information that would mislead the rival company. Meanwhile, Darius documented all of Rachel's actions to have evidence for legal action if necessary. As Rachel continued her treachery, Darius secured a meeting with a major investor, showcasing the real potential of Phoenix Innovations. The investor, impressed by Darius's resilience and innovative solutions, decided to come on board, providing the company with a much-needed financial boost. In a dramatic turn of events, just as Darius was preparing for the investor's visit, Rachel's betrayal was exposed. During a meeting, she arrived with confidence, but her demeanor changed when Darius presented her with undeniable proof of her disloyalty. The confrontation was intense, filled with accusations and denial. It ended with Darius firing her on the spot, reclaiming his authority and integrity. As Darius celebrated this victory, he was unaware of the storm brewing in the background. The rival tech company had taken note of his success, and their CEO, a cutthroat entrepreneur named Victor Stein, was not one to back down easily. Victor saw Darius not just as a competitor, but as a threat that needed to be eliminated. Darius's triumphs drew the attention of not only investors, but also those who resented his success. One evening, Darius received a mysterious message from an anonymous number. The text read, "You're in over your head, Walker. Secrets don't stay buried. I know about your past. Watch your back." A chill ran down his spine as he read the message. What past? He had worked hard to leave behind the trauma of his childhood. He never thought it could come back to haunt him. As he delved deeper into the situation, he realized that the threat was not just a random act of malice, it was personal. Someone knew details about his family and their struggles, information that could be damaging if exposed. With the stakes rising, Darius knew he had to uncover the identity of this blackmailer before his past could destroy everything he had built. As Darius sat in his office, the weight of the anonymous threat bore down on him. The sleek walls of Phoenix Innovations, adorned with awards and accolades, suddenly felt like a cage. He couldn't let fear paralyze him. He needed to take action. He began by analyzing the message, trying to decipher any clues that might lead him to the sender. After a few hours of deep thought, Darius called Malik into his office. "I need your help," he said, leaning forward, the urgency clear in his voice. "I received a threatening message, and I need to find out who sent it. We can't let this disrupt our progress." Malik nodded, his expression serious. "Let's start by checking the phone number. We can trace it through some online resources. If they made a mistake, we might catch a break." The two worked late into the night, combing through digital tools and public records. Malik pulled up the number, revealing it was registered to a prepaid phone. No name, no address. Darius's frustration mounted. It's like they planned this out. Whoever it is, they want me to feel powerless. Don't worry, Malik replied, typing away. Let's not give up. We can dig deeper. They decided to reach out to contacts within the tech community, discreetly asking if anyone had encountered similar threats. Days turned into a week, and Darius's anxiety grew alongside the pressure to deliver on the upcoming product launch of the revamped Bridge app. One evening, while reviewing user feedback on the app, Darius received a surprising call from an old acquaintance, Jenna, who had once been a close friend in high school. They hadn't spoken in years, and hearing her voice was both comforting and unsettling. Darius, I've heard you're doing great things with your company. I'm proud of you, she said, her tone warm. But there was a hint of something else lurking beneath her words. Thanks, Jenna. It's been a challenging journey. How have you been? He asked, attempting to catch up on their lives. I've been around. Listen, I wanted to talk about something. I've heard some rumors, and I think you might be in danger, she warned, her voice dropping to a whisper. You should be careful. Darius's heart raced. What do you mean? Do you know something about the threats I've been getting? Jenna hesitated. I can't say too much over the phone, but I think someone is trying to sabotage you. I'll explain everything if we meet. Can you trust me? Darius weighed the decision. Trust was a luxury he couldn't afford, but he couldn't ignore the urgency in her voice. Okay, let's meet tomorrow, he replied, trying to keep his voice steady. The following day, Darius met Jenna at a quiet coffee shop in the heart of the city. The aroma of fresh coffee, mixed with the sounds of light chatter, created a cozy atmosphere, but Darius felt a knot of tension in his stomach as he waited for her to arrive. When Jenna entered, she looked different, older, warier, but still familiar. They exchanged pleasantries, but Darius could sense the gravity of the situation. After a few moments of small talk, he leaned in, his expression serious. You said you had information about the threats. What do you know? Jenna took a deep breath, her eyes darting around as if she were afraid of being overheard. I know you've been getting messages, and I think I know who's behind it. It's someone from our past, a guy named Derek. Darius's mind raced. Derek had been a childhood friend who had fallen into a life of crime after high school. What? Why would he target me? Darius asked, disbelief creeping into his voice. He's been following your journey. I heard him talking about you the other day. He feels betrayed by your success. He blames you for leaving the neighborhood behind, Jenna explained, her voice trembling slightly. But that was years ago, Darius exclaimed, frustration bubbling over. Why now? Because he's desperate. He's involved with some dangerous people, and he thinks threatening you will bring him some leverage or attention, she said, glancing around again. Darius felt a mix of anger and pity. He couldn't believe Derek had sunk so low. The conversation shifted to their childhood memories, and Darius remembered how bright Derek had once been. But that light had dimmed, overshadowed by a life of poor choices. I need to confront him, Darius decided, the determination setting in. I can't let him intimidate me or destroy what I've built. I owe it to myself and my community. Jenna nodded, concern etched across her face. Be careful, Darius. He's not the same person you knew. With that, Darius left the coffee shop, a plan forming in his mind. He knew he needed to approach Derek with caution, but he also understood that confronting him was necessary. Days later, Darius found Derek at a local bar, a place that resonated with memories of their youth. As he stepped inside, the dim light cast shadows over familiar faces, but Darius felt like a stranger. He spotted Derek sitting in the back, surrounded by unsavory characters, the air thick with tension. Darius approached, his heart racing, ready for confrontation. Derek looked up, surprise flashing across his face, quickly replaced by a hardened expression. Well, if it isn't the big shot, he sneered. I'm not here to fight, Derek. I want to talk, Darius said, trying to keep his voice calm. Talk about what? How you left us behind. How you think you're better than everyone else. Derek spat, rising to his feet, fists clenched. I didn't leave anyone behind. I worked hard to get where I am. But threatening me? That's not the way to handle this, Darius replied, standing his ground. The atmosphere grew charged, and Derek's friends shifted, sensing the tension. You think you're untouchable now? I'm going to expose you for who you really are, Derek hissed, stepping closer. I'm not afraid of you, Derek. You're better than this. Let's resolve this like adults, Darius said, trying to appeal to the friend he once knew. But Derek's rage boiled over. You think you can just walk back into my life and tell me what to do, he shouted. In an instant, the confrontation escalated, and Darius had to think quickly. In the weeks following his confrontation with Derek, Darius attempted to push the incident out of his mind. However, he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. As Phoenix Innovations prepared for the launch of the Bridge app, he focused on finalizing details and gathering support from investors. Still, the weight of the blackmail threat loomed over him. Meanwhile, Derek was growing increasingly desperate. He had not taken kindly to Darius's refusal to cower, and his resentment festered. He began to rally a group of old friends from the neighborhood, those who felt abandoned by Darius's success. Together, they formed a small faction, sharing their frustrations about the changes in the community and channeling their anger toward Darius. Derek's jealousy turned into an obsession. He started infiltrating tech circles, spreading rumors about Darius's past and questioning his integrity. He's a fraud, Derek would say, emphasizing how Darius had left the neighborhood behind. He's not one of us anymore. This tactic resonated with some, causing whispers of doubt among investors and potential partners. As the launch date approached, Darius received a chilling call from Malik. Darius, we have a problem. I just got off the phone with our software team. There's been a significant bug in the app's code, something that could lead to a disastrous launch, he said, panic evident in his voice. Darius's heart sank. What do you mean? We tested the app repeatedly. Exactly. This bug isn't just random, it looks deliberate. Someone might have tampered with our software, Malik explained, his voice tight with concern. Darius's mind raced, the pieces starting to fall into place. Do you think Derek could be behind this? It's possible. He knows you, your weaknesses. He could have someone on the inside, Malik replied, his voice shaky. Darius knew he had to act fast. They immediately launched an investigation into their internal systems, digging through lines of code and examining access logs. The clock was ticking, and Darius felt the pressure mounting. As the team worked tirelessly, Darius couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal from someone within his company. He had always trusted his employees, but doubt crept into his mind. He called a meeting to discuss the issue, determined to maintain transparency. I need to address something crucial, Darius said, standing in front of his team. There's been a security breach in our software, and I suspect foul play. I want everyone to be vigilant and report any suspicious behavior. Whispers rippled through the room, but no one spoke up. Malik caught Darius's eye, and Darius could see the worry etched on his friend's face. After the meeting, they retreated to Darius's office, where Malik leaned in. We need to find out who's behind this before it's too late. Let's dig into the access logs more thoroughly. As they sifted through data, they discovered unusual login patterns. Someone had accessed sensitive information at odd hours, which coincided with when Darius had been confronting Derek. Malik's face paled as he processed the implications. This is serious, Darius. We need to be careful. The day of the launch arrived, and Darius felt a mix of excitement and dread. He had worked tirelessly, and the entire company was counting on this moment. The event was filled with investors, tech enthusiasts, and the media. Darius stood at the podium, his heart racing as he addressed the audience. This app represents a new beginning, a bridge between technology and community. We're not just creating a product, we're creating a movement, Darius declared, the energy in the room palpable. However, as he spoke, he noticed Derek lurking at the back of the room, his presence a stark reminder of the rivalry that had taken a dark turn. Darius's stomach churned. Was Derek here to sabotage him in front of everyone? Midway through the presentation, Darius received an urgent message on his phone from Malik. We've discovered the mole. It's someone in the finance department. Kelly. We need to confront her before she causes any more damage. Darius's mind raced. He had trusted Kelly, and now she was tied to Derek, but he couldn't let this distraction derail the launch. We'll address this later, he muttered under his breath, refocusing on the crowd. As Darius continued his presentation, the app launched with fanfare. But just as the screen lit up with the user interface, a major glitch occurred. The app froze, and an error message flashed across the screen, causing gasps and murmurs to spread through the audience. Darius felt his heart drop. "No, no, no," he whispered, fighting against the rising panic. He quickly signaled to Malik, who was on standby, ready to troubleshoot. "Someone sabotaged the app," Malik exclaimed as they worked frantically to resolve the issue. Darius's mind raced. Who would go this far? Suddenly, he spotted Derek smirking at the back of the room, relishing the chaos. In that moment, anger ignited within Darius. He refused to let Derek's malicious actions define his journey. Once the initial chaos subsided and the app was back online, Darius knew he needed to address the issue head-on. He called Kelly into his office, determined to uncover the truth. "Kelly, I need to know what's been going on," he said, his voice steady but firm. "There's been a security breach, and I suspect you've been involved." Kelly's expression hardened. "You don't know what you're talking about, Darius. You think you're above everyone just because you've had a little success?" "Is this about Derek?" Darius pressed, his heart racing. "He's manipulating you, using your discontent to destroy everything I've built. Maybe I'm tired of being overlooked. You don't know the pressure I've faced, always living in your shadow," she shot back, her voice rising. Darius felt a pang of empathy, but knew he had to stand firm. "This isn't about me, Kelly. It's about integrity. I trusted you. You need to choose which side you're on." With that, Kelly broke down, revealing that Derek had approached her with promises of support if she helped him sabotage Darius's success. Darius was taken aback by her betrayal, but he also understood her struggles. "I can help you fix this," Darius said, softening his tone. "But you have to be honest with me. We need to work together to stop Derek." With Kelly's information, Darius and Malik devised a plan to confront Derek once and for all. They gathered evidence of his manipulation and prepared to expose his threats. Darius knew this was their chance to end the rivalry once and for all. As they entered the bar where Derek often hung out, tension filled the air. Derek was seated at a corner booth, surrounded by his friends. Darius felt a surge of adrenaline as he approached. "Derek," he called out, his voice steady. The bar fell silent, all eyes on the two men. "We need to talk." Derek looked up, amusement flickering in his eyes. "What's there to talk about, Big Shot?" "You're in over your head." Darius took a deep breath. "This ends now. I know you've been sabotaging my company, spreading lies and manipulating people, but I won't let you destroy what I've built." Laughter erupted from Derek's friends, but Darius remained focused. "You've lost sight of who you are. This isn't you, Derek. You used to be someone with dreams, aspirations. Those dreams died the day you abandoned us," Derek shot back, anger simmering. "You think you can just walk in here and lecture me? I'm here to offer you a choice. You can keep living in bitterness, or you can work with me to create something meaningful. We can help our community together," Darius proposed, his voice resolute. Derek's expression shifted, and for a moment, Darius saw the old friend he once knew. But then, the mask fell back into place. "You think I'm going to forgive you? You have no idea what it's like to struggle like I have." "I know more than you think," Darius replied, feeling the weight of his past experiences. "But I won't let you drag me down with you." After the intense confrontation with Derek, Darius returned to the office, feeling a mix of relief and determination. The emotional toll of the encounter lingered, but he knew he had made the right choice by standing up for himself and his company. With Malik and Kelly at his side, they began to refocus their efforts on Phoenix Innovations, working to restore the trust of their investors and the community. Darius called an emergency meeting with his team. "We've faced adversity, but we will not be defined by it. We're stronger together, and I want to rebuild what's been shaken," he declared, looking around at the faces of his team. They nodded, reflecting his resolve. Kelly, grateful for the second chance, stepped forward. "I want to help mend the damage I've caused. We can launch a community initiative alongside our app, demonstrating our commitment to supporting local businesses and residents." Darius nodded, inspired by her enthusiasm. "That's a great idea. Let's create a program that empowers local entrepreneurs and fosters innovation in our community." As the days turned into weeks, Darius and his team developed the Community Innovation Initiative. The program aimed to provide resources, mentorship, and funding for aspiring entrepreneurs in their neighborhood. Darius leveraged his connections to secure partnerships with local organizations and investors, rallying support for the cause. The launch event for the initiative was set for a Saturday afternoon, held in a local park. Darius stood at the podium, addressing a crowd of hopeful faces. Today, we're not just launching an initiative, we're igniting a movement. This is about creating opportunities for everyone, regardless of their background, he said, the energy in the crowd palpable. As the event unfolded, stories of resilience and innovation filled the air. Local entrepreneurs shared their journeys, highlighting the barriers they faced and the support they received from the initiative. Darius felt a sense of pride swelling within him. He was finally giving back to the community that had shaped him. While the initiative gained traction, Darius received an unexpected phone call from a tech investor named Lucas Green. "I heard about your community innovation initiative, and I'm impressed," Lucas said, his voice warm and inviting. "I'd like to discuss potential funding and collaboration opportunities." Darius was taken aback but excited. "Absolutely. I'd love to explore how we can work together." Over coffee, Lucas shared his vision for creating a network of tech startups that focused on social impact. Darius felt a strong alignment with Lucas's mission. "I want Phoenix Innovations to be a part of that," he said eagerly. As they spoke, Darius realized the power of collaboration. Lucas's experience in the industry, coupled with Darius's passion for community empowerment, could lead to transformative change. However, just as things seemed to be looking up, Darius received an anonymous tip that Derek was planning to retaliate. He had been gathering a group of disillusioned locals, seeking to undermine the Community Innovation Initiative, spreading rumors that it was a ploy to gain control over their businesses. Darius felt a familiar pang of anxiety. He reached out to Malik and Kelly, sharing the news. "We can't let him destroy what we've built. We need to be proactive," Darius said, his determination renewed. They devised a plan to counter Derek's narrative. Darius and his team organized a community meeting, inviting local residents and business owners to share their experiences with the initiative firsthand. They wanted to show the positive impact it was making, countering any negativity with real stories. The community meeting was a pivotal moment. As residents spoke about the support they received and the opportunities the initiative provided, the atmosphere shifted. Darius could see the skepticism melting away, replaced by hope and gratitude. But just as the event was reaching a high point, Derek showed up, his expression defiant. "You think this is going to change anything?" he yelled, drawing the attention of the crowd. "You're just another sellout, using your success to control us." Darius stepped forward, feeling the weight of the crowd's eyes on him. "I'm not here to control anyone. I'm here to empower us all. The initiative is about giving you the tools to succeed, not taking anything away." Derek sneered, but the crowd was no longer on his side. Darius's heartfelt words resonated with the audience, and they began to cheer him on, standing in solidarity against the negativity. In a last-ditch effort to undermine Darius, Derek tried to sabotage the upcoming funding meeting with Lucas. He spread lies about Darius's character, hoping to convince Lucas to withdraw his support. But Lucas, having witnessed Darius's commitment to the community firsthand, saw through the deception. During the meeting, Darius presented his vision for Phoenix Innovations, backed by testimonials from the community. Lucas was impressed, not just by the numbers, but by the passion Darius displayed. "I see the potential for real change here," Lucas declared, shaking Darius's hand. "I want to invest." Afterward, Darius found Derek lurking outside the building, bitterness etched on his face. "You think you've won, don't you?" Derek spat. "This isn't over. You've made enemies, and I'll make sure they know what you're really like." Darius took a deep breath, steadying himself. "You've already lost, Derek. The community sees through your lies. It's time to let go of the past and find a better path forward." Derek's eyes flashed with rage, but Darius turned away, resolute. He was done letting Derek's negativity control his life. With Lucas's investment, the Community Innovation Initiative flourished. Darius continued to inspire others, creating a ripple effect of change in the neighborhood. As Phoenix Innovations expanded, Darius was also able to develop mentorship programs for young innovators, encouraging them to dream big. The journey wasn't without challenges, but Darius learned to face each obstacle with resilience. He recognized the importance of community and collaboration, embracing the support of his team and the people he aimed to uplift. Darius often reflected on his childhood experiences, the struggles, the pain of discrimination, and the journey to success. Each moment had shaped him into the man he was today, and he was committed to ensuring that the next generation had the opportunities he once yearned for. As he looked out over the community he had come to love, Darius felt a profound sense of purpose. This was just the beginning, a testament to the power of rising from adversity and transforming it into a force for good. As the Community Innovation Initiative thrived, Darius found himself in the spotlight, gaining recognition not just for his company, but also for his philanthropic efforts. Phoenix Innovations quickly became synonymous with groundbreaking technology, especially after the launch of their revolutionary AI platform, which had far-reaching implications across various industries, from healthcare to finance. The tech community buzzed with excitement as Darius announced a partnership with a major healthcare provider to integrate their AI technology, improving patient care and streamlining operations. The collaboration attracted significant media attention, catapulting Darius and his company into the limelight. In a matter of months, Phoenix Innovations' valuation soared, attracting massive investments from top-tier venture capitalists. The once modest startup had transformed into a global leader, changing the way businesses approach technology. At a high-stakes investor conference, Darius presented Phoenix Innovations' achievements. Investors filled the grand auditorium, their anticipation palpable. As Darius stood before the crowd, he could feel the weight of their expectations, but he thrived on the energy, channeling it into his presentation. Today, we're not just talking numbers, we're talking impact, he began, passionately outlining the company's vision for the future. We're redefining the boundaries of technology to uplift communities worldwide. As he spoke, investors began to recognize the true value of Phoenix Innovations, not just as a tech company, but as a catalyst for change. By the end of the conference, Darius secured a groundbreaking deal that pushed Phoenix Innovations into the billion-dollar club. When the news broke that Phoenix Innovations was now valued at over $100 billion, Darius was officially declared the richest man on the planet. Headlines splashed across news outlets, showcasing his rise from a humble background to becoming a tech mogul. But with great wealth came a new set of challenges. Darius faced increased scrutiny and pressure to maintain his position at the top. Critics questioned his legitimacy, eager to see him fail. Yet, Darius remained focused on his mission. During interviews, he emphasized that his wealth wasn't just a personal achievement, it was a tool for greater good. "I want to use my resources to create opportunities for others," he stated, echoing his commitment to his community. To further solidify his legacy, Darius launched the Darius Walker Foundation, aimed at funding scholarships for underprivileged students, supporting small businesses, and investing in innovative projects that aligned with his vision. Despite the accolades and the wealth, Darius never lost sight of his roots. He frequently returned to his neighborhood, engaging with local entrepreneurs and sharing his journey. At each event, he spoke candidly about the struggles he faced, encouraging others to pursue their passions and never lose hope. One day, while walking through the park where he had launched the Community Innovation Initiative, Darius reflected on his journey. He thought about the painful memories of discrimination, the betrayal he faced, and the friendships that had been forged in the fires of adversity. Each moment had prepared him for this exact point in his life. Standing amidst the people he sought to uplift, Darius felt a renewed sense of purpose. His wealth was not just a measure of success, but a means to create lasting change. As Darius continued to lead Phoenix Innovations, he knew that the true test of his success would not be in the amount of wealth he accumulated, but in the impact he made. With plans to expand the Foundation's initiatives globally, Darius envisioned a world where technology served as a bridge to equality, opportunity, and empowerment. In the end, Darius Walker didn't just become the richest man on the planet, he became a beacon of hope and a driving force for change, proving that from adversity could come not only success, but also a legacy that would inspire generations to come. The journey of Darius is just one story in a world filled with countless narratives waiting to be told. What are your thoughts on Darius's journey? What challenges do you think await him as he forges ahead? And how can we, as a community, contribute to the change we wish to see? Share your thoughts and insights in the comments below. Thank you for joining us on this journey of resilience, innovation, and hope.